So let's just review quickly what we did with this base templating, everything. So we go to the URLs, which we're all pretty much familiar with by now, just /post, goes to the views, post list, grabs all our posts, loads the PostLists HTML template, extends, it grabs the blog base HTML, loads that up here, and then at the block content, it loads this stuff, and then it ends the block, and then it finishes or keeps on loading the base HTML. So now, when our post list, let's bring up the app. Where'd the app go? My blog. There we go. So when I click here, what should you want to go to the individual post, the detail, correct. So and right now it's, if you look at the very bottom left-hand corner, it says localhost 8,000 posts /nothing. That means it doesn't go anywhere. So we have this little href in our post list HTML. We have this href tag that we want to send to the detail. So how do I link it to the detail? What do I need? URL. What do we usually want to call that method? Or the name of the route? Post detail?
Yeah.
Then it also needs what? Post ID equals post.id. Let's see, I'm going to bring.
Do you have to put post ID?
Okay.
Well, I'm just running.
I don't know.
Just do post.id because it only takes for one argument.
So right now my app blew up because post detail is not valid function or pattern name. So let's go. We need to do URL. I'm going to copy this over. So we got a path, post ID, views. Looks like we need a method in our views called post detail. Yeah. The name post detail. Let's go to our views and def post detail takes in a request. Is that spelled right? Yeah. I'm looking weird. Post ID. And then, yes.
So on the previous, when you're doing the URL.
I'm sorry?
When you're doing the URL. Like
this one?
Yeah, where you just did like the integer post ID.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just depending on the situation and the company? Because you also do like details / names post ID, right?
Are you talking about
right,
where?
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah. Right. So you could do like details.
Detail. Or detail.
Yeah. I mean, is that kind of like a best, like, would it depend on who you're working for or like personal preference, whether or not you put that in there, or is it like best?
So it would be post/detail/ID.
Yeah, something like that.
That's just kind of personal preference, but usually it's just like post followed by whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need to
work either way, but I was just
Could you also include the post title as part of the tag?
No. No. Like for like right here, like include the title of the post.
So yeah, maybe not necessarily there, but
like right here.
As part of the path name, just call on that particular instance of the post.
Like right in here.
The idea is more succinct.
Yeah,
And
'cause like-
already guaranteed to use.
Yeah. So you want it to be identifiable to that specific instance. So like
I'm not saying discard post ID. I'm saying as a way to identify like what post you're looking, because the users aren't going to be like, oh, I'm on post number 2. They don't know. Like if you want them to be able
Here's
to.
the question though: with that, how many users actually look
Yeah.
directly at the URL?
Okay, I guess so.
But I would like to know though. I do like there's not the functionality of it's arguable, but like that generally that's what you see, right? Is this where we would put that? I guess.
you can put like stuff like over like.
And will it iterate and give us the proper?
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
Yeah. but this is like best practice.
Okay.
So we've got the post, we have the views, then we're back here in post detail. I should copy paste, get object 404, we need to import that. Get object 404. So it's grabbing the post by the post ID, and it's returning this blog PostDetail HTML. So it looks like we need a template called PostDetail HTML. It's passing the dictionary just like above with the post. Just the individual post. So go back to blog, add file, PostDetail.html. There we go. Here, this is the post detail. We're extending the blog base because we always want to load the blog base.
Yeah.
Then we have this class post. If post.publish date exists, get this div class, show the publish date, and the title, and then we're doing this line breaker again. Let's see if this works now. All right, nothing blew up. Now if I hover over, so in the lower left-hand corner it says localhost 8000 post 1, post 2, post 3. Clicked on it. How about another? No, blah, blah, blah. Then up here, if I click the blog, my blog, it should take me back. Never translate. Then here, blog post. I've had issues with blog 1 right there. Yeah. Damn it. Why is that?
I think you should have actually translated it.
Yeah,
So posts, post 1. Cannot get local post 1. Did not match any of these. Forgot what I did. Forgot what I did to. So I see it's like post 2 and there's no backslash. Post 1 there is a backslash. So maybe
I thought you put that first one first.
I want to see if I do that. See what that does. That's weird. Okay. That works. That's weird that does that.
Yeah, it was I thought you did that first, and then it worked.
Yeah, I don't know why
Then
that
all of a
does
sudden
that.
it just stopped. Posted translation, maybe that. That
No,
was the only thing that changed on that
I
one.
didn't click on that one first. I clicked on that one.
Oh, you did this.
Anyway, so I did that. I'm not sure why that is. I have to look into that. But it might cause problems later on in our app. But right now, that's the solution for it. If you encounter it. Like I did this a couple of days ago as well, and I didn't encounter that problem, which is weird. Anyway. So now we're doing forms. So I've got a list of my blog posts. I can view a blog post. Now what if I want to create a blog post? Yesterday. So I'm going to create another file called forms. And in here, you guys were exposed to this yesterday? Yeah. So I'm importing forms from Django. I'm importing posts from models. We have this post form class object that's in Django, getting the model forms, and it's got this weird class method, class meta. We got the model, grabbing the post model, and then we get to use what type of fields we want. Text field, title field, etc. Now, in order to add, in order to add a new blog post, I need a method to like actually add a blog post. So in my base URL, the page header, I'm going to add a specific, so it's this href, it's going to link to a new post. So it looks like I need a link to a new post. And then it's got the span hieroglyph and whatever. So if I delete this right now, let's just see what it looks like. It's got this little plus sign, but it doesn't go anywhere yet. So if I want to go to URL of new. So I need to create a new URL called path new. That's what we want. View dot new post, because we're going to create a new post method. And name equals new post. See if this works. Oh, what happened? No module blog views has no attribute. New post. So views, new post. So there's the new post method. Takes in a request, takes in the request form, which I have not got to import. So from .forms, import post form, because it needs to import the forms class into the views. So it's creating a new instance of form or post form. Now it's going to send it to a post form HTML. This is what I need. When I click on this link in the base, I click on this, takes me to URLs, new post, and views, new post. And it should load this post form HTML template. So I need a post form.html template. So I've got the base, it loads the base, as we're familiar with. Once it reaches that block content, it's going to load this type of request. It's going to load this form, which is a post method, SRS token, I'm not sure what that is, and then form as P, it's a built-in method in Django. Then we've got this button, which is a submit button, and then it ends the block. See what that looks like. That's the new form. So what's happening when I click that? Goes to forms. Where is that? It grabs a new instance of post form. It grabs the model post, and what fields do we want from that? We want the title and the text. And that's what this is. New post. This is a new post. Oh, you want to see something kind of cool? John showed me this. Hacker typer. Go sit in an airport terminal and do this. I'm literally just typing like K. This is all it's typing out, printing out.
Oh, what a trick my foot. It's amazing.
Sorry. I found that amusing. I did it for like a half hour yesterday. All right. So at this new post, sorry to get off the topic. Now, when I submit the new post, it doesn't really
have their wires set to like some phone line or something like that.
So what happened there? URL, my URLs, Django pattern in this order.
So it did not redirect.
Here's the slash, not slash.
Slash posts. Oh. So if I click on this, what just happened?
It's not taking on notice.
Why isn't it taking me back to posts? Where is it? Yeah, there it is. New post. My blog right there. So that's why when I copied and pasted that over. Yeah. So I'm gonna copy this over. There we go. posts. Click there. Just doing testing. Save. It didn't go anywhere. Go back to posts. 1, 2, 3. Now where'd that other post go? So it didn't save it yet.
No.
Because let's look at that view where it's actually should be saving it.
No.
So it's
You're not
actually,
doing anything.
yeah, we're not actually doing anything. We're just creating an instance.
And we're not redirecting once it.
So I'm gonna copy this. A lot of code's just gonna come in, just bear with me. So that new post, and I need to, there, import datetime, and import redirect. So let's go, what happened? So the new post request, if request method equals post, which is does from the, what is it? Post form. Post, it's a post method. Where'd it go? Views. Creates a new form, new post form from the request post. And if form that is valid, it's a Django built-in method. Make sure the form is valid. Post equals form.save equals commit equals false. So it's not saving it right now. Then the post, the author, because it in our model, it needs an author. So the user is being imported from the Django auth models. So this is where I'm getting my user from. I'm essentially grabbing all the users and only grabbing the first element in the user. I'm literally just hard coding the user right here because there's only one user in the database and it's me. So I'm just, yeah, this is kind of a hacky way to get around that.
Otherwise, you probably iterate on the user for some like user.
Yeah.
Store some information.
Yeah. So you grab the current user from someplace, but right now I'm just grabbing the first element of all the users, which is me. Then the post publish date, I'm just doing the date time now. That's why I had to import the date time now. So it's just the current date. I'm saving the post. I'm redirecting. So I imported that redirect, that post detail. I'm passing that post ID.
So the commit equals false is so that you can actually keep the form information and create the object, but not commit the object to the data.
Gotcha.
Is that right? Are you asking or are you
Yes,
just?
I'm asking.
I don't know that actually. I'll have to look at what that is.
That looks like what it is based on the syntax, but
Form that's it. Yeah. You have to look at what that is specific.
We didn't have to do that before.
No. And then else, it just creates a new form, and then it renders the post form. Let's go back, refresh. This is a new test post. See what happens. So after it should redirect back to the, see where should it redirect? Back to the post detail. All right, let's see what happens. There we go. This is a new test post. Any questions up to this point? So we created a new post right here. Now with a CRUD app, what do we need to also be able to do?
Update.
There, let's update it. Let's edit it. Let's start with the post detail. So in here, there's really not a way to edit it. So is that post detail? I'm gonna add some more code. See what I added. I just added this link here, it looks like. Yep. Then it takes it to this href URL edit post method. So I need to go into my URLs and do an edit. So now there it goes. Post ID / edit. Now it goes to the views, edit post. So edit post, remember yesterday, like when you're editing stuff, it kind of pretty much looks the same as new post. So I got to create this edit post. What is it? This edit post method. So I've got this edit post method request, takes in the post ID, get object, post 404, ID, message post, post form, everything's the same. Looks like since post, except right here, it fills in the current post. And the type of request is an edit. Let's see what happens. There we go, we got this. So click there, I click on that button. Let's see where that button takes us. Post detail, that's this part. Takes us to edit post, post ID. Where's that URL? Goes to edit, / edit, post edit. And then comes down here, edit post, takes in that post ID, and fills in the existing post attributes or the details of the post.
Post form HTML, so we don't have to create additional.
Right. So let's edit this and see what happens. This is an edit. Let's save it. Right there. So it rerouted us back to the post detail page. Almost there. What else do we need? All right. So from the post detail page, where do we want to add that? Set it at the bottom. So href, another link to delete, called delete this post. I'm going to delete this right now. Just leave it blank. See what it looks like. Delete this post. Doesn't do anything because it's not linked to anything. I'm going to take it to a URL delete post with the post ID. URL, kind of getting a pattern, right? Yeah. All right. Module, blog, views, has no attribute, delete post. Right down there, attribute error. That means you have to create a new delete post attribute or delete post method. So we're deleting the post, request, taking the post ID, post get object or 404, takes in the post ID, post delete, and then redirects you to the post list. All right, let's start, see if it works. Let's delete this test post. Oh, no longer there. Add one. There we go. Edit it. Saves it. There we go. What questions do you have? So it's just kind of repetition with the URLs, views, templates, URLs, views, templates. And then we introduced base layouts with this base. This is always loading, load static, which loads all the static CSS and pretty much everything in here. But then we link to the specific style sheet we want. Right? The location in static folder, CSS blogs. And it comes down here and it's going to load the block content of whatever view we want to load. That's it. Remote.
Can you go back to your models page real quick?
Yeah. So we've got the post, and this author, which is the admin, which is a
Sorry about that. That was my